Hello, Captain's Log for 2:04 p.m. February 6th. I usually don't do videos at this time, but I'm particularly motivated because interesting things have been happening. So the last time I did a video, I was working on Circus Maximus. And so since then, I decided, I wanted to figure out the seating capacity of all of the different venues in Rome. We need to turn Rome. We need to bring Rome back to where it was, because it's the perfect vacation or whatever. It's the perfect city for people to get together, like Symposium City, like all the YouTubers get together and watch YouTuber people do their YouTube videos live or whatever, or people performing live. You could house in a seating venue everybody in the whole city, like 1 million people. So yeah, I was interested. I wanted to get to the bottom of all that for the whole city, do all the stands all at once. And so I did Circus Maximus. I did Coliseum first, and I think it worked out to 47,000 some odd people at 22 kilometers something worth of stands at 19 inches a stand. So I did that with the Circus Maximus, and I traced the first 3 stands, and it was like 14, 19, 14, and then maybe I should make it 20. I guess it's too late, but and then it was like 120,000. So then I added the last one, which was putting stands behind the columns. The top of the Circus Maximus has columns, just like the Colosseum does, and in those columns in the Colosseum there are stands. And so in the Circus Maximus I put stands, and it turns out that if I did that, it was 150,000. So that was cool. My Circus Maximus checks out at what other people, like on the Wikipedia article, they estimate it being. I saw on the Wikipedia article that Pliny said that it had 260,000. So I Control F Circus Maximus, and it only said on my Pliny page on my website, and it only said something about in the Circus Maximus people were running 160 miles a day. But it didn't show it anywhere else, and so I Control F 250,000, and it showed up a whole bunch of times, but not for that. So I decided to go ahead and just read that chapter that I thought it would be in, like the Stones chapter, and then I heard it, and it was like spelled differently. That's why it didn't show up, and it wasn't 260. It was 250. It was 260,000. So after I build it, maybe after I'm done with Rome, maybe I'll figure out if I can get 260,000 people somehow looking into the Circus Maximus. But so then I did the other ones. There's this one called Stadium of Domitian, and when I looked at it, it was 26 kilometers worth of stands, which is more than the Colosseum. That's like 52,000 people or something, and the Wikipedia article says it's 15 to 20,000, and the Regionary catalog, because the Regionary catalog and all these different ones, it said the stand capacity, and this is from 354, so I got excited. I was like, oh, that's cool, let's do this, let's figure it out. So in the Regionary catalog, it said that the has 30,000. So, but that's still not big enough. So, so I didn't know what to do. So I went, and I figured I'd think about that later. So then I looked at, I wanted to do something easier. So I looked at a stadium of, the Theater of Marcellus, which has 17,000 something, 17,500. And then there's another one that's 20,000. I think it was Pompeii, 20,000. And then another one has like 11,000, but they're all like the same size, so I didn't know what that meant. So But I looked at the theater of Marcellus, and it did work out too. If you put stands in under the columns, because they have the columns the same way too, that works out to about the same, 17,000 something. So that worked. So then I looked at the Circus Flaminius, and because I couldn't find anywhere where anybody even estimated what the capacity of the Circus Flaminius was. So I guessed what it would be, and it was about 30,000. I could make it about 30,000. So when they said stadium, I figured I'd just put it in make it the Circus Flaminius, and then make the Stadium of Domitian its regular 50,000. And if they meant, the Wikipedia article says 15 to 20,000, that's probably because it's shrunken by then. So because Rome changed over the years, so I'll just go ahead and make those other theaters that are just as big as the theater of Marcellus, the same size as Marcellus, and then just assume that the Legionary catalog said it was smaller because maybe it's shrunken by then. So the map that I'm looking on has got so many theaters and race courses. I'm scratching my head like, who built this? There's some things on there that, like, there's a race course right next to the Coliseum that I haven't seen anywhere else. So with no name, it's just there. I'm like, okay, it existed. I guess I'll draw it in. There's another guy who wrote Rome Even Bigger with all this detail. I was thinking about trying to build that, but it was in like the 1700s. Anyway, so I'll build those, and then I got the idea to I wanted to. Well, then there's this other. Because I was doing all these coliseums or whatever theaters, I wanted to do the one for the Theater of Castrense, Amphitheater of Castrense, which is this little perfectly oval-looking one that it's on the southeast part of Rome where the Aurelian Wall goes through. It's like a mini coliseum, but there's none of it left. So I figured I wanted to rebuild it, and I did it the bad way, and then I thought, wait, just do plan. So I typed plan, and it was right there. So then I put it on top and I traced it. So I decided to rebuild the Theater of Castrense because it's like a little mini coliseum, and I wanted to build something to show all of the people individually, draw the people in individually, just as color coded, 1 through 10 blocks, so that you could help understand what people look like inside of the Coliseum, so that you can or inside of the stands in Rome, so that you could picture what it would look like in the Coliseum and the Circus Maximus and stuff. Because I'm not going to trace in each one individually; that would take too long. But if I could do it for a little one, then you could use that to calibrate for the other ones. And so I worked out the Theater of Castrense to be 355 people. So that made sense. And so I'm going to rebuild that. I'm rebuilding that right now. Right now I'm tracing in the people. I'm just doing every 19 inches, and then I'm going to do in the blocks, like color-coded, and then do it, staggered, so you can know the difference. Do it up the lines, and then, I'm looking forward to see what it looks like. And that's another way that visualize numbers. But, so after I do this theater, it's going to be, I'm looking forward to looking at it and see if I can do a tour through it, just like in the Coliseum. But and then also, it wasn't just the plan of that, it was also of the villa that it was next to. It was part of a big domus. It was a private amphitheater. So then I'll go back and I'll finish, the easy stuff, tracing in the stands for the Circus Maximus, and then go do the stands for all those other ones. And then everything, all the ones in Rome. So I'm listening to... different decades right now on Wikipedia. So that's what I'm running through. Right now I'm in like the 10s or something. Got my cancer cut out today. They're going to find out in 5 days. Like if it was cancer, I'm pretty sure it was. Is the little what you call it abscess looked the same as the other one. Okay. Peace out.